The Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G is that device that attracts your attention at first glance thanks to its premium design that got it to win the IF Design Award for 2022. It is Tecno's first device to have OIS and also the only other manufacturer aside Samsung to implement this feature at this price point. It is powered by MediaTek's Dimensity 810 chipset, which makes it a 5G device. But do all of these features make the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G good value for money? So here is the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G, a latest from Tecno which was launched alongside the Camon 19 and 19 Pro 4G. I think the 5G version is the one that will be globally available. It actually doesn't look any different from the 4G version, and we could say they are basically the same phones except for 5G and one or two features that give each one an advantage over the other. I think the regular Camon 19 also has the exact same build and design. I guess Tecno took a page from Samsung's A series design book for this year. I'll have a comparison video on both the 4G and 5G versions of the Camon 19 Pro linked in the description, which you can check out later after watching this video. Now, the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G is likely going to cost around 198,000 Naira. Once I confirm that, I'll update it in the video description, including the price for the regular Camon 19 and 4G version. Now, I'm not sure if to call this the highest of the Camon 19 series based on price alone, as while it gets the Dimensity 810 and 5G, it doesn't get the 50 megapixel telephoto camera and that laser autofocus on the Camon 19 Pro 4G. But let's save that for the comparison video. The Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G comes in a typical retail box that contains all its accessories. This box I have here is just a reviewer package I got as an invite to the launch event. The design of the Camon 19 Pro 5G stands out as one of the best from Tecno so far, and I think depending on your preference, only the Phantom X can be above this. It comes in two colors, that is Eco Black and Cedar Green, which I'd say is the more stylish as it gets part leather finish and would have been my pick if I were to choose. There's also a rumored art version, I think for the 4G version, and that's likely going to be limited edition. It is rumored to show multicolor on its back panel when exposed to sunlight. Now that would be nice to see. But let's come back to what we have here, which is the Eco Black, with a lovely matte textured rear finish which is smudge resistant and nicely done. The rear is probably glass, but it feels like plastic. Tecno describes it as having a diamond coating. I won't be dropping it to find out. Now the camera layout is dual ring, one which contains its main camera and the other hosting its macro and depth cameras. I was holding this phone and someone asked me what Samsung device it was. And while there are currently no Samsung phones that look like this, you will agree with me that this design and build quality is lovely. Now the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G gets a frame which is flat enough to allow the device to stand without support, giving it that boxy design profile that seems to be the standard so far for 2022. While it comes with all essential ports and buttons, it doesn't get stereo speakers, just a button firing one, which is probably okay and should not be a deal breaker, but I can't think of any devices at this price point without stereo speakers. That's not the only major feature absent from the Camon 19 series. It also doesn't get an AMOLED display like its predecessor, the Camon 18 Premier. Its display, however, is quite vibrant and looks high quality for an LCD display. It also gets really slim bezels, slimmer than most smartphones and only comparable to the high-end Samsung Galaxy S22 series, except that it has a slightly thicker chin. The display is 6.8 inches in size and has a 1080p resolution. It also gets 120Hz screen refresh rate, which I find fluid and makes scrolling and animation smoother. The Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G gets Android 12 right out the box, paired with Tecno's iOS 8.6. There is still nothing to suggest that Tecno will embrace future software updates, but it's great to see that we are not having to complain about an older Android version here. As expected of typical iOS, we get a lot of pre-installed bloatware apps, some you can uninstall and others you can disable. The good thing about the iOS here is that these bloatware apps don't send the usual annoying notifications, except for Palm Store, which I had to block, and Tecno's Wallet app, which I think is new and we'll probably hear more about it from the launch event or in the coming days. Now the bloatware apps aside, I find iOS experience so far stable and bug-free. The Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G only comes in one memory configuration, that is 8 GB of RAM and 256 GB of UFS storage, which you can expand by SD card if that's not sufficient. It gets MEMS to help extend the RAM virtually by up to 5 GB. I think 8 GB is very sufficient for whatever multitasking you might want to do here. On the storage, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think only Tecno, Infinix and Oppo have a device below 200K with as much as 256 GB of storage. The Camon 19 Pro 5G is powered by MediaTek's Dimensity 810 chipset, which gives it 5G. Now, while we do not yet have 5G in Nigeria, I think it's coming really soon. If my sources are correct, then this year. So with this, you won't need another device when 5G is finally rolled out in Nigeria. But 5G is not the only highlight of the Dimensity 810. It is a 6nm processor which is more efficient and has higher benchmark scores than say the Helio G96 on the 4G version of the Camon 19 Pro. However, it uses the same GPU as the Helio G96 and has some of its limitations like maximum of 2K 30fps video recording. It's hard to complain about that, as I think right now for devices released in 2022 for this price point, only Samsung has devices that record 4K videos. Now back to its GPU. The Dimensity 810 uses the Mali G57, which offers fairly good gaming performance, basically similar to what you'd expect from the Helio G96. I played Apex Legends here and was able to max out at Ultra HD graphics and high frame rate. The gameplay was lag free and I got consistent 40 frames per second while maxing out the settings and got no frame drops. With Call of Duty Mobile, the max setting available was medium graphics and high frame rate. Gameplay was also consistent and lag free. I had no heating issues in my experience, but I won't say I've used it extensively for gaming as a mobile gamer would. Battery life on the Camon 19 Pro 5G is as expected from a 5000 mAh Tecno device. I think Tecno phones are reliable when it comes to battery life. I've never had anyone complain of poor battery, but that's probably just in my experience. Have you? Now we get 33 watts fast charging and that powers the device from 0 to 100 in just over an hour. I have a few things to say about the cameras of the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G. First is the fact that it comes with a 64 megapixel main camera with optical image stabilization. That's a much welcome improvement and something very rare at this price point. Where I have a little disappointment is that it doesn't get the 50MP telephoto lens and laser autofocus we get on the 4G version, also gets a lesser 16 megapixel selfie camera. That was why I initially said I wasn't sure if to call this the highest of the Camon 19 series. The secondary cameras are 2 megapixel macro and depth sensors. Comparing it with say the Camon 18 Premier from last year, only the OIS is an upgrade, as that got a periscope zoom lens and an ultra wide. Now that is not to say the Camon 19 Pro 5G does not take good photos. As a matter of fact, I find it very impressive and among the best Tecno has done so far when compared to their previous devices. It is good with HDR and I'm satisfied with the image processing. While it doesn't get the telephoto camera, portrait shots from the rear camera still looks great. One of the camera features you might find interesting is the Sky Shot mode, which uses AI to add different sky scenarios to your shots. The actual images look great and I'll say the AI does a good job. The Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G does really good with nighttime photography. The results are sharp and with less noise, no overprocessing going on with the photos. Photos from the selfie camera looks detailed and skin tones are okay. Portrait selfies are fine on edge detection and I think the colors are consistent with regular selfies. The OIS feature on the Camon 19 Pro 5G I'd say is much better than the gimbal camera system on its predecessor. Videos are well stabilized and you don't need to activate anything for that to work. This will definitely make for an interesting comparison with Samsung's A53.
Okay, so I am out testing the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G. I am close to the roadside, so it's a bit noisy. This is the selfie camera, 16 megapixel selfie camera, and it's currently shooting at 2K 30 frames per second. So let me know what you think about the camera quality and then the microphone quality as well. I am hoping with all the noise, it has your noise cancelling microphones, so it should do a good job of picking up my voice.
I find the Tecno Camon 19 Pro 5G an interesting device, especially with the improved processor and 5G, and the camera performance. But the only things I can complain about would be the missing telephoto camera, stereo speakers, and an AMOLED display. These were probably omitted to keep the pricing low. Now, to see the video comparing it with the Camon 19 Pro 4G, check this one. And to see the full review of the 4G Tecno Camon 19 Pro, check that one.